Hi there, in this video we're going to be looking at you getting the most out of your presentations on Sharimg as an admin user. So if you're using Nacsport, you can upload your presentation window directly from the Nacsport software and that will come into the Sharimg platform. But now you can also start editing and creating presentation windows and lists within the Sharimg platform. So firstly, let's go to the presentations area. So I click this button and press presentations. Let's go and open a presentation. So here's my list of presentations. I can see who's created it, the number of lists and registers. Obviously I can delete things here if needed as well. So let's go and make some changes on this presentation. Firstly, we're just going to look at playing back. So in another video we talked about our playback controls of spacebar to play and pause, our right and left arrow keys to skip back and forth, 5 seconds, which are the same as these hover icons, and our playback controls, which you can click here or press B to change or V to go back as well. So when we're playing a clip, we can play and pause with spacebar, but you can either skip to the next clip by pressing this icon or selecting a clip, but you can also press 2 on your keyboard to jump to a next clip and 1 to jump back. So that's an easy way for us to look at the registers which are in this first list, which is lineouts in this example. If I click here, I refresh and go to the next list, and now I can press 2 to skip through these clips and 1 to jump back. Something else you can do with your lists when they're on here is you can drag and drop them to reorder. So you have to make sure that your hand tool is over this number column, and then if I just drag and drop, I can reorder those lists, and then it will refresh. So let's drag and drop and reorder again. You can do the same thing with your registers. So I can just drag and drop to reorder. Remember, your drag and drop has to be on this middle column with the number. So if you've uploaded this presentation window from Nacsport, at that point you might have set the sharing options, because remember, until you have shared your presentation, it's like a video, no one will see it until you let your players have access to it. And you can share individual lists. So for example, if I wanted to share this lineouts list with, for example, in rugby, just my forwards, I would tick box here on that list, press options, then open and press share. It shows me now all my users, or I might select a group. So I can select everyone, choose whether or not to send an email notification and press share. If this whole presentation needed to be viewed by everyone, I can just select all of the lists at once, press the options button, come to share, select all my users and press share. Along with those option buttons, you can also right click. So for example, if I select this list, you have to have something selected first and press my right click. I could use the share option. But also here now I can edit this list. And when I'm editing a list, I change the list name, the color of the text that shows, and the background color. A little tip for you, 000, all the zeros are black, all the Fs are white. When you click on here, it's going to show you a color to select as well. So we can edit a list. Obviously I'm right clicking again. I could delete that list as well. But what we're going to look at here are the options to use registers and move things around as well. So let's look at an individual register basis to begin with, but I want you to remember that here, as soon as we've selected this list and I press my options or did a right click, these same settings and tools that we've got that we're going to look through now are available here. So for example, I could add all the clips from this list to an existing list, a brand new list, or a brand new presentation. So let's start looking at working with our registers. So let's say now I'm on my presentation window and I've got some lists, some clips that I want to see. I might select these 3 clips. Again, tick box is the important part. If you click here, you're going to start playing those clips, but your tick box is the thing you're looking for here. Now, if I press options, I can do a few different things. I can edit these clips first. So if I edit them, and you can do this for 1 clip at a time or multiple clips. If you're selecting multiple clips, what you can do is change the color of the text and the background color. If it's a single clip at a time, I either press options or do my right click. When I edit, I also have the ability to change the name of the clip and some notes that I can put on. Because remember, when we have notes on a clip, those notes will show down here for our players to review. So we can edit clips with their names one at a time, or we can select multiple clips and edit their colors of the text and the background. What we're going to look at here now is taking these clips and moving them to different areas. So let's select these clips. And again, I can either right click or press my options button. But this time I want to add these clips to a list that already exists. Now this can be a list within my existing presentation or a list in another presentation. So if I select them and press add clips to a list, it gives me an option to select the presentation. So I'm going to choose Rugby Review here, which is the one we've got open. Then I can select the list that we're adding them to. If you've already seen the highlights video, you'll see here that you can also send these to somebody's highlights, which is for individual based review, but check out that video to make sure that the limitations of using the highlights there. So those clips I want to send to this presentation with this list. I press select, and now I've got those adding to another list. So let's refresh this list, and now I can see all those registers down here. Something else we could do, if I select some clips, again either options or right click, I could create a brand new list. So let's create a new list, and we'll say example. I'm choosing it in the presentation that I'm working on, which is by default. It's the last one that I selected, or I could choose a different one. Again, text color, background color, I can select there. So let's create those clips. One thing to remember here is that even though you've done that, you're not going to see the refresh initially. So if you just do a right click and then press reload, you'll now see that new list down here with those clips that have been added. Finally, what we can do, and I'm just going to select all of these with this tick box, and again right click, I could start making a brand new presentation. So create a new presentation. This is going to be called example. The list name is going to be A1. I'm going to change the text color and the background color and go and create that presentation. Now if I come back to the home page and refresh my presentations, I can see that brand new presentation. It's got one list, it's called A1 with the color settings, and I've got all of those clips that are within there. So as admin users, you've got lots of ways of building presentations and editing your presentations on the platform. But with Sharimg, you can obviously put videos up from other areas, and now we're going to look at how you can use those tools to start building presentations as well. So let's firstly go to analysis. So this is when you've uploaded the video and analysis from Nacsport. And you can now open up a matrix, or indeed you could select multiple games and open a full matrix and do the same process, which is really useful if you're wanting to find specific moments from multiple games that you then filter down to a presentation to provide some really good feedback. For now, we're just going to use one game. So I've selected the game and I press full matrix, and it's the same workflow as when we were working before in a presentation window. So our matrix is opened up. These are our categories and our descriptors. So I can click a whole row to see all those possession clips that open up in this player. I could select a whole column to see anything that had this descriptor within it, or indeed I can go to a specific moment. So for example, our 4 possessions that were from a kick. So I press that number 4 and I have a video player here with all of those registers that I can see. Again, I can press 2 and 1 to skip back and forth, and I've got my other playback controls. But now in the same way as before, I can select all of the clips or individual ones, either right click or press my send option, and now I can add those clips to an existing presentation list, create a brand new list in an existing presentation, or create a brand new presentation. The same workflow as before. So that's really useful for you building up presentations, taking clips from multiple areas, remembering that with Sharimg you have a great ability to select multiple analysis, look at a full matrix, then filter those back to a presentation. An even more detailed way of doing that and you can do it for individual games or multiple at once, is if we select these two and then go to register search. Again, this is a tool that you can use if you're using the S100 plan or above. You can choose your specific categories or descriptors or a combination of both. So I'm going to go here, remember I'm looking at both of these games, and I'm going to say here in rugby, let's say all our possession clips. And now I'm going to see the list of descriptors which appeared in all of them. So I'm going to say all of the possession clips from a kick. So this category and this descriptor. And now I'm going to say those ones where we got to at least 4 phases. So I can see here possession own and from kick descriptor and 4 phases. And I've got to these 3 specific clips from 2 different games. Again, I can play them back in the same way as before, all of my playback controls that we want. But now I could select all 3 of these and I can say create a brand new presentation. And this is going to be possessions from a kick. And we could add some notes into that presentation afterwards by doing our editing as well. So you can use your analysis and your register search to get to specific clips from your analysis. The other tool that we have for adding to a presentation is from highlights. So again, there's a full highlights video running through processes here. Let's just look at 2 things of me watching this as the admin user. I'm going to open my highlights tool and create a register. Okay, so I just skipped forwards, I started and stopped, say admin clip and some notes. I'm going to create this clip, then I have my send option again. I can add to an existing list, create a new presentation, create a new list. Okay, so I can add to presentations from here. Let's go and do that. Let's say the one that we just made earlier, which was our possessions and the list that was from kick. Okay, then the final thing that we can do is go to our full highlights area, because remember this gives you the ability to look at all the highlights created by all the users. So I might go and select this user here and view their clips from multiple games. And now I could come and choose all of their clips or just some specific ones from here, press options, and then again add these to an existing list, create a brand new presentation or create a new list. So let's go again, possessions, player clips, let's change up our colors, and then we create that list. So presentations are a really powerful tool that enable you to filter your feedback to people with the clips that you want, the notes added onto them, so they can review them. But now with Sharimg, you've got the ability to build these presentations online, starting with the video you've uploaded to the platform, the video and the analysis from your Nacsport, even the presentation window from your Nacsport. But now you can pull together all the clips from those tools and the highlights that players are creating to build a full presentation. The important thing to remember with all of this is that when you've created these presentations, nobody is going to see them unless you've shared them. So you might go through all these editing, all this building. The important thing to remember is to select your lists once they've been created, come to options, press share, and then select the users or the groups that you've created to then enable access for these people to come and view and understand the clips that you're sharing with them. Hope you found that useful.